almost centered. There we go. So, yeah, the last day has been pretty crazy as far as progress here. That's just because of, like I said, learning curve, still getting used to this whole process of streaming, uploading, learning new things about the platforms that I'm using. I did really try to get this hatter knocked out for today's stream, to have the pencil lines all completed. However, his face is just eluding me. So I also have some more detail going on. I need to finish his legs too. There we go. Alright. We'll move him in a little bit more, because my lines are generally pretty light still, to go ahead and make sure that when I go ahead and lay down that watercolor, that we're not going to have really strong lines showing through. I'm actually not sure if I'm going to try to erase the pencil lines off of our mouse, because those are pretty light. I should probably go in and sharpen up a couple of these washes, but there we go. Helps if I move him to where you can see him in the camera. So he's currently enjoying a slice of cake. So we're going to spend just a couple minutes to see if I can go ahead and nail down the last of these features. And in the very least, we have plenty to paint today to go ahead and get started on the stream. So I'm sorry I'm a little out of frame. I will try to move my water cup so I can have a little bit more of the drawing in frame and you can see what's going on. In the case of today, since I'm working so close and doing such tiny details, I am going to be putting my my paper towel here on the paper, just so I am not getting hand oils or whatever is possibly on my hands. I washed them a couple times, but it's just the thing about streaming, my hands are sweating. So hopefully that's getting better. Alright, so let's do some shoes. I think we have a stylish hatter, as a lot of portrayals have been lately. Let's see if I can put some shoes in here. It's not quite big enough. I'm going to bring this line in just a little bit. We're going to go a little more pointed. Broaden up here, arrow in there. I'm going to keep a little bit of that heel there. Give me just a moment. Alright, and Tesla says hi to everyone. Alright, water cup back. To adjust this line. Trying to think of the shape of his foot here. I feel like he's turning his angle, not his angle, his ankle just a touch. He's not really putting weight on this leg right now. It's just kind of standing there to make his point. I think part of the problem is I have part of the foot twisted, but not the other part. So this needs to come up. I don't like that. Alright, we're gonna start over with this foot. I'm sitting here. Remember my brush too. There's my brush. Really should have a separate brush for eraser bits and whatnot, and I will probably get that at some point. Alright, let's work on this foot. I feel like I'll have this one a little bit more nailed down. Shading for the knee, punching at the hip. This one would be much more like the nice pressed seam coming down the front. It's a bit of a dandy. Part of my problem is I hadn't decided a specific shoe ahead of time, so I have very much a like a boot style shape. A lot of times with boots you have a section for the heel. You have this section that comes across for the laces. I don't know if... oh geez, I'm completely off a frame. Alright, let's try moving him up here. That way you can see me rambling on about this itty bitty detail I'm putting on his boots. Let's see if... it's about as tight as that ball is going to be. Try sliding that up a little bit more. Hopefully you guys can see with some pretty decent detail. this coming down here. Top of this one coming down here, off to the side. Alright, I think that's enough detail for me to work on. I'm going to do some contrast. I think, you know, purple and white or green and white. What do you guys think? I want to do some color. Great. We're also going on to take a look at Twitch, see what you guys are saying. Alright, and for those of you catching us live, as well as those of you catching the replay, feel free to comment. Go ahead and pop in your comments, and I'm glad to see what questions you might have as far as the palette I'm using, drawing, ideas, inspiration. You know, always glad to have a talk, especially about Wonderland. Wonderland is such a fun story. And I think I really do want to keep that foot kind of twisted out. So, be a little smoother here. I think our hatter has some point shoes on almost. Alright, we're gonna see more of the heel. I don't think I've rolled that far enough. Alright, more detail up here. Let's come down. I feel like that is just too awkward. Yeah, I don't like it. Alright. We're gonna go to... it might be boring, but we're just gonna do a regular standing. Shoes are not my favorites as far as drawing, other than... I don't know. I feel like hands have gotten easier, but that's probably because I could just stop and look at my own hands sometimes when I'm trying to draw. So if the shoe's way over here, kind of wrap that around, arch of the foot. And square that out a little bit, because we're not doing combat boots. Such tiny details. I hope you guys like tiny details. I tend to paint kind of small, so tiny details are kind of my thing. I think most recently, let's see, this is probably the largest I've worked in a little bit. 8x10s are a good size though. I like them because it makes it easy for you to print out at home. So if I'm doing digital files, then that's convenient for you. And it fits on a standard 8.5x11 if you're in the US. And what is that close to? I think that's a, is that an A3? I think it's an A3, international. laces go. Probably an absurd amount of detail for how small this is. And that's okay. I like that a lot more. I didn't put laces in. I'm going to put laces in using, probably gouache. And just give those a nice, pop of contrast. And actually, since I don't have to, onto that, I probably use my, my Bleed Proof White by Dr. Martens. Here we go. Focus! Alright, and back to focusing over here. Alright, everything's pretty good. I'm going to jump into just get some paint on him instead of focusing on the face right now, because we're already 15 minutes in, and you guys came here to watch some painting. So, it's off to the side. Just another quick double check, make sure I don't have any eraser bits. I didn't knock down the pencil sketch. We were pretty dark with the graphite today. I'm debating to see if that's okay. I'm kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to go pretty dark on a lot of them. So we'll just lighten up this hand over here. So I feel like that's going to be light. And an idea for some gloves. And I'm gonna blot off this eraser a little bit. So I'm just scribbling on some paper in the background. If I were wearing jeans today, I would just rub it on the jeans, because that works really well. But for the moment, I'm all comfy in some pajama pants. So we'll just blot off a bit more. Just thinking a lot of greens and purples. Now I'm debating what color the coat is. We'll leave it for now. We'll leave it. We'll figure it out. Alright. Let me know if you guys would like to see the paint palette on screen more. I think I can get away with setting it over here on the side. Those shadows are probably really annoying, but I think visually this might be a little more interesting. Which I would still have to flip things around, because make stuff right side up for you while I'm painting. Alright. You can see the what changes from last time. Try to get this in focus here. We have the ocean leading to our potion bottle. So that's the most significant change. I also slightly moved the keyhole over. I do have this margin here, so I can have this bleed out a little bit further, which I will probably do. So I like that being close to the edge, but I don't want it too far over that it's not able to be accessed easily. So it's kind of a weird balance. I don't mind a little bit going into the margin here. Let's see. The header is there. Going in with the number 8 round. Oh, you might actually be able to see it this time. So I don't know if it picks up very well, but there's this teeniest little hook that the tip of the bristles do. And it's just something where, with synthetics, I think it has to do with the friction of the bristles on the paper, that slowly it forces the tip to stretch, and because they're thinner, that makes them more likely to curl. That's my theory. But a lot of times you hear about like brushes going bad. That's probably because of the tips there. Alright, let's get the water over here maybe. I was thinking I'd put the palette on screen with you guys, but then it's gonna be over here while I'm painting. I don't think that really works for me because that's where my hand's coming down at. Maybe I can put it over here. You guys can see some color mixes going on. I cannot wait until the new desk setup is in. We'll see if I can move my laptop over an inch. I'll slide you over. Alright, I think that'll work. So then I can get to the water. I'll have to reach over the piece to get to the water though. Alright, I think we're good. Let me know, is that better? I should probably get on with it. That's what I should do. Alright, let's... I think we'll do... For me, Hatter is just a vibrant character in general. So we're gonna go with some pretty loud colors. I'm kind of feeling a lot of purple, a bit of green, we'll probably do some yellow, just to, with all that purple to have some elements pop, or we'll just go with like a very yellow green. Oh, we're still figuring it out as we go along. Alright, some water, paper towel nearby. Let me see when I'm dabbing that off. Might be a little more interesting to know how much I'm sitting there taking some paint off. We're not going very heavy with washes, as we have not been. Like the whole series, we've not been doing very strong washes. I think we'll start off with something kind of light. So I have some buff titanium, and over here was some quinacridone lilac from Daniel Smith, which most brands have as quinacridone magenta. I think it's PR 122. But anyway, yeah, and a little bit of dioxazine violet, or carbazole violet if you have Daniel Smith, which I do actually have a lot of Daniel Smith. Almost this whole palette is Daniel Smith, except for 3 or 4 RM Graham. Let's see, M Graham would be sepia, scarlet pyrrole, Payne's Gray, and neutral tint. I'm gonna go with like a really kind of soft purple. I really want a tonal difference to show up for these gloves, because I think I'm going to go into the coat with dioxazine violet. I like the thought of going a little bit opaque with some of this color here. Smooth this little edge out for the saucer. And we're not worrying about too much form or detail for the gloves for the first layer. This is just the base color. I can go in later with a little bit more detail to go ahead and add our shadows and highlights. I'm kind of thinking these gloves are like maybe a little satiny. Alright, and like, yes, let me paint the smallest detail first. Let's see, we'll go... grab some rich green gold over here. And I think I'm going to go with a little bit of phthalo green yellow shade with the rich green gold. Go with kind of an emerald. The rich green gold neutralizes the green just a touch, so it's not quite a searing acetone color. It'll still be quite vibrant though. I don't know, it's funny. I think it's because I'm starting with these characters. Like, starting with Hatter is, as far as significant characters. Dormouse was just kind of a guest at the tea party. Not so much a, I don't know, I guess an iconic character. Like, you look at Alice, the Queen, the Hatter, the White Rabbit. Those are by far the standout characters for the story. We're going to go right over our pencil lines today. We're going to use that as some implied line underneath to help give a little bit of form. The pigment is not settled where I wanted it, so we will swoop this little extra bit up here. Oh, I got a fuzzy. Alright, we're going to try to lift that fuzzy up in just a second. Really don't want to go back in for a second paint load right this second. So we're going to sweep this green over here. And I'm still coming back with that fuzzy in just a second here. So at this point, you should be able to see the, I guess it was a bandolero? No, bandolier for the spools. I really do like how Tim Burton made the profession much more a part of the character in his version of the Mad Hatter. So I wanted to keep a little bit of that. I already rinsed my brush, which is probably a mistake when I'm going in for this fuzzy, so a little extra tap against the paper towel there to make sure that my brush was not wet doing that. Hopefully I don't get a bloom. We'll find out. Let's see. Should I zoom that a little more? There we go. Get this nice little tea party taking shape. Alright, and I'm gonna go into the pants. Yeah, I think we can go ahead and get that in. So we're gonna go a bit, I kind of feel like a deep wine type color. So this is some Purulene Violet. It really does kind of look like a red wine stain. I'm gonna try to get you to focus over there. Alright. And then throw some water in that mix. I want to bend it a little more purple. Touch of the carbazole violet or dioxazine violet. We're going to keep him kind of within the same color family, like a lot of berry type colors. I think that might work. And there's a fuzzy. What? do I find so many fuzzies when I want to do work? Now I'm kind of questioning it. Alright, where's my paper? There we go. My little scrap of paper. It's a technique I recommend for any time you're not sure about the color you're about to put down. Go ahead and grab a little strip of paper. It's like, do I want that next to this green? I think that's alright. Alright, so I'll paint that in. And then I'm going to get my beverage real quick after I'm done this. Apparently I did not eat enough earlier, so I'm like suddenly hungry, and I'm just going to sub in getting something to drink to settle that out a little. It's like the worst time to find out. That's okay. I went over the tail of this vest a little bit. I don't like that. Grab this little bit of paint, move it over. We don't want this drying before we're done. And it's not likely to. This is a very small area. Alright, and there is probably a little more pigment there than I would prefer. Even out this puddle a little bit. Ooh, we don't have this pants leg straight. That's better. Alright. Just try to make that even. And just grabbing a little bit of paint, moving it around with the tip of the brush. And pigments, it's pretty even. Alright, and I'm gonna mute real quick for just a moment while I go ahead and grab a drink. Alright, and since we have a bit of a gap between that and up here, yeah, probably a crazy person to try to do it right now. I'm gonna soften this bow tie just a touch. It should be far enough away from the vest that I can get away with it. Real gentle. Alright, you got lucky. Trying to think of what color I want that. I am kind of feeling like the bright orange is kind of becoming a signature hair color for the Hatter. He's been doing orange for a bit. We're gonna get that down. Let's see. I don't know, I don't want him to look quite like a crayon just exploded on him. I think I might actually go a little bit closer to like some of that Quinburn orange. It's really thin right now. That's fine. This will work out perfect for us because we'll use this for the highlights layer. We can come in with more shading later. So this is just a glaze. That is a big blob of pigment sitting there. I'm not positive if I want to do bangs for this hatter, so we're going to leave that alone. Okay, that's probably fine. Pull up a little more over here. And that skipped out to where I don't want it, so we're going to just fix that little edge. That's fine. By the time I add other layers with shading, that's going to calm down quite a bit. So that's fine. Oh, and everything looks a little bit blurry. Alright, so we have a pretty good start for our hatter. Let's go a little more blue with the purple for the bow tie. I think we're going to leave it pretty bright still, so we're doing the blue red shade and then just a bit of the Carbazole violet. And I think I'm mixing this into some Indanthrone blue instead. Alright, thought that spot on my palette was some Carbazole violet, and it's not. It was probably a mix with, for some violets that I was painting recently. That's alright. So I'm curious, how many of you guys think that some of our most infamous, well, infamous sounds terrible, some of our most recent pop culture characters are related to the Mad Hatter? I was thinking about that as I was going ahead and working on the pencil sketch today. I really was thinking, like, you know, the long coat is very, very Doctor Who. Some of the other qualities of him is very Willy Wonka. So it's kind of wonder what your thoughts are on, is the Mad Hatter just, like, did he help birth these other characters, or is this part of an archetype that's even older? Alright, we're pretty much doing some straight carbazole violet with these shoes. Kind of dark. This might make it difficult to do the line work over them. I think if I work pretty dry, we can be fine. I really should not be doing this detail with this brush. I should really break out my other brush. I'm so comfortable with the 8 that I tend not to change unless I have to. There we go. Sorry, I'm not really talking on this part. This is just such a fine detail. I feel like if I breathe too much even, that this is not gonna go well. You have to let me know what you think of the soundtrack for today. It's the same one as yesterday. I kind of feel like that might be quite enough that it's easy for me to talk over it, but enough there for when I'm quiet, like right now, that you'll be able to have something to enjoy. This needs to be a little rounder here. And that should be squared out a little bit more. I don't know why I'm trying to do that detail with this brush. Alright. Shoes are good. So, seeing how these pants are drying, I don't quite love that color. I think we're going to go in a little deeper. Same mix, just another layer. Slide this down a little bit. This time we went a lot drier with our mixture, so we have much stronger color. And be less likely to have those outlines like I did up here. I went really weak with that color. Right, because I do plan on doing other glazes, and it's not going to be noticeable once it's finished. For something like very cartoonish styles, like having a little bit of an outline on your work isn't a bad thing. Fuzzy alert. Here we go. So, I really gotta figure out the what colors I want to do for this coat. Alright, and I'm back. Sorry about that. Like, when you have a house with, oh geez, 6 people, bound to get a brief interruption at some point. So, work in progress. And hopefully my internet gets better because it's lagging. It said drop frame rates detected. Alright. Let's go with some blue. So at the moment I'm mixing a really deep turquoise, going back and forth between the phthalo turquoise blue, or phthalo blue turquoise, I still have to look that up, and the phthalo green blue shade. I definitely want to touch more on the blue side than I do for the being on a green side. I think we're gonna do, I wish I had some viewers live because, you know, somebody commenting, so I can have an idea of, should we do the sash or the hat with the turquoise? I think we'll go with the hat. We'll do the sash purple to tie back in with the rest of the outfit. nice splash of color. It pops well with the orange, so I don't know why I debated that. We are getting close to our hour being up. Trying to get as much done on camera as I can. And especially since tomorrow is going to be another intense day because it's Alice. And I really want you guys to have the experience of getting to see basically over my shoulder what I'm doing. But unfortunately that's not going to be possible for all of the detail to be done within the hour. Especially if I have days like today where I didn't have quite enough time to finalize characters. I'm definitely leaning towards keeping the pigment on this side. Go ahead and form a natural shadow effect. I don't particularly want to do that with the brim though. I'll do that just a little bit with the brim. Pull a little bit of that color over here. I really love this color. And if I had done this section a little bit separately, I would go ahead and darken this edge in the front. But I did not, so I'll just try to pull just a touch of pigment off the back half of it. And that'll leave me a little bit less to glaze later on. I kind of feel like this is a little bit distracting. I think I might skip this track. Excuse me. Alright. Oh, this edge is not good. That should bend it, alright. I'm gonna leave that now. Let's pop in just a touch more of this emerald. Doing this on camera means I'm kind of trying to rush and mixing right on top of my colors, which I normally don't do. For some elements, I'm just adding in deeper colors to go ahead and apply the shadow. Other times I'll go in with other colors to indicate shadow. I go a little darker up here too. Probably terrible timing because I really should pop in some jacket color. You guys can at least see the color of his jacket before we're wrapping for today. Go ahead and grab some of that quinacridone, lilac, while I'm debating with myself. Do I want to go with the lilac? No, I'm going to do some quin violet. I really love Quinn Violet too. Maybe that should just be the jacket. Quinn Violet and Quinn Lilac are really similar. But you'll see with the violet here. It's just different enough. Oh, you know what? I would really like that on the jacket. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to thin this out to just a very lightest wash. And I'll glaze over this with the Carbazole Violet later. Just to go ahead and deepen it. Because I think I do want that for the jacket. And this is how you change your mind. Well, you guys are probably used to it though. Until I'm doing one thing with the Dormouse, like, oh yeah, he's gonna be the Dormouse is going to be naked like a lot of cartoon characters, and then blam. Yeah, I keep applying a gender to the Dormouse one. So yeah, I want to keep the mouse ambiguous. Yeah, definitely. Alright. So, initially, Quinn Violet. And it's okay for a little bit that mixture from the pants mixes in. Such a vibrant mixture, and we'll add even more color to our crazy scene here. I think I need a little more water. Just over the edge with the bandolier. You know what, we're gonna do contrast for the lining of this jacket. I don't know what color yet. We'll see. Our hatter here apparently likes to be loud with his wardrobe. Maybe we'll go in with some more green. I feel like his bow tie is a bit too subtle. Oh, that was an opportunity too. I could have done the collar tab on the jacket to contrast too. Eh well. That's too dark to really redeem that right now. And the worst thing when working is running out of the color you need. A little bit cocky with that. Thinking I can iron enough mixed up just because I'm dealing with small areas. As far as to scale, it's one of the largest areas I've worked on so far. I'm painting this piece. So it happens. It happens a lot. to just finish up this edge of the coat. And then I think we'll be signing off for today. Really excited to see how the detail is going to work out on this guy. That's going to have to be some behind the scenes stuff. I think I am going to go a bit more blue for that bow tie. Go. Do I want to go brighter or deeper? Going with the deeper blue. I like it. I still gotta decide on a shirt color, start putting in some detail. All that's going to be behind the scenes. Hopefully you'll join me for tomorrow when we work on Alice, and you can see where she's going to appear in the composition. Because Alice was kind of our wild card with deciding for me. Originally I was going to have her with the white rabbit, but I didn't wind up going that route. So kind of backing you up. Alright, let's see where we are with the whole piece so far. Alright, and just fold that over, slide that out of here. A lot of Wonderland to figure out. Let's move this in a little more. There we go. Alright, and that is it for this session today. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a great night.